Although many thought that Wallace would be the dirty driver during the Martinsville race, it turned out that Chastain was the hidden gem. We were not expecting him to do a stupid thing like he did. We all thought Bubba would stop Chastain so his team boss would make it to the finals, but even he was surprised by the crazy move Chastain did. He even said it was an irresponsible action. But who is he to judge? The Martinsville race ended with Hamlin losing his championship hopes, mostly thanks to the actions that Chastain took in the last lap of the race. Chastain wall-rided to the championship 4 with Christopher Bell winning the race, and Chastain's actions are not something you want to see regularly happening in NASCAR. So, how do the other drivers feel about it? And will there be any repercussions for Chastain? Before we get to that, we are giving away $200. The Martinsville race was truly an interesting one, and although we expected to see a closer race between Hamlin and Byron, that didn't happen at all. Hamlin was very close to entering the final round for the championship, but this is when Ross Chastain decided to bring some heat to the track and do some crazy stuff. Hamlin was crushing to a 5th place finish, which would have meant that 2 Joe Gibbs racing cars would have been in the championship round. However, Chastain's wall riding brought him the 5th place finish, meaning that he was able to gain more than 18 seconds just by going full throttle in the final 2 corners. If he did this, he would have finished P10. And that is what every driver does at the last 2 corners, applying full brake pressure due to the sharpness of the corners. However, Chastain was desperate to gain some time, and with him sacrificing his number 1 car's right side, he rode the wall and blew by 5 other cars before stealing the final championship 4 slot from Hamlin. This was perceived as a dangerous move, and many drivers were furious as to why a driver like Chastain would make this move in a real race. According to Chastain, this was a move that was practiced a lot in video games such as NASCAR 2005 Chase for the Cup, and he did it so with his brother. By wall riding, his brother was able to win a round of this game, and it seems like Chastain decided to bring it to real life. When talking about it, Chastain said, "I never thought about the move. Our prep this week, it never crossed my mind. I've done a lot of sim work this week, a lot of iRacing, a lot of stuff, laps here virtually. Never once did it cross my mind or ever try it. I want to make that clear. The last time would have been a long time ago before I was even thinking about being a NASCAR driver. It flashed back in my head on the white flag, and I double-checked off of turn 2. Through 1 and 2, I thought, I think we need 2 spots. They said, yes, if it wrecks, okay. We don't make it, it might not work, but I'll try it. That's a motto that some buddies and I have back home. We live by, why not? To apply that to the Cup Series in this scenario, there are rules. There are a lot of rules out here. I didn't know how it would all work out. I didn't know if the physics would work to make it around the corner, but it did. I'm sure glad it did. Although controversial, there was nothing wrong with this move. One thing that could happen is that many other drivers try it in the future, and the risk of this move not working is a huge one. So the last thing that NASCAR drivers need now, given the fact that the next-gen cars have proven to be a reliability issue, is another safety hazard. On top of that, a safety hazard that is imposed by their own on their own. This is something that the pole winner Kyle Larson spoke about, saying that the move that Chastain did was not a good look for our sport at all. I don't know what you guys think. You probably think it's cool, but I think it's embarrassing. The same attitude prevails with the former NASCAR champion Joey Logano, who locked himself into the championship round via his Las Vegas win. According to him, everyone did this move during the video games, and he asked himself how many races he could win if he did this move. There needs to be a rule against this one, because I don't know if you want the whole field riding the wall coming to the checkered flag. I don't know if it's the safest thing for the driver or the fans when you have a car right up at the wall hauling the mail like that. What if that fence gate wasn't closed all the way? What if it was bent and caught his car? That's a big risk that Ross was willing to take. God bless him, that's awesome. And Logano does make a valid point. According to NASCAR's rulebook, the wall riding maneuver is legal and there is nothing the community can do about it. What they can do in the near future is sit down with all of the drivers and assure them that moves like this will be punished in the future due to safety hazards. As Joey pointed out, there could be a fence that's sticking out or a fan that would be too close to the race and suffer irreversible damage. Although the move was pretty cool and it gained a lot of time for Chastain and eventually gained him a slot in the championship's Final Four, it's not something that we want to see being repeated continuously. That has been pointed out by many NASCAR drivers, and that is something that has been tried out in the past but hasn't worked out very well. Kyle Larson tried a similar move a year ago at Darlington Raceway, trying to beat Hamlin in the Southern 500. When asked about whether he thought he inspired Chastain to try the same trick, Larson said, "Yeah, and I'm a bit embarrassed that I did, but that was pretty embarrassing, honestly." Still, the drivers are mad because, as Logano said, we are going to see a lot of drivers trying it out on their own due to the fact that the rulebook allows it. This is something that has been pointed out by Ryan Blaney, who finished third, saying that he should have made the same move as he doesn't care if it was good or bad for the sport, letting the others decide for themselves. I guess we'll all start doing it now, coming down to the end of the race. Well, if we expected one driver to be mad for the way this race ended, it would definitely be Hamlin. However, Denny doesn't feel any anger at all, saying that it's all part of the rules and Chastain took a calculated risk. This time it paid off, but that doesn't mean it will always pay off in the future, as the safety hazards are just way too much. Thinking about wall riding is a normal thing, but trying it out in a race that is supposed to bring you closer to the championship is a whole other thing. Although the other drivers are mad that this move has worked and will inspire other drivers to try it out in the near future, they still have to give credit to Chastain for trying out something that the others didn't. That is something that Chase Briscoe said, as he was the first driver that got passed by this extraordinary move. It was well executed on his part. I think all of us have thought about that, just none of us have ever been brave enough to ever try it. I'm very curious to see what kind of hole that opens up, because I think now, if that's the last lap in Martinsville and maybe even Richmond, just go wide open on the wall. I think you'll see the whole field do it. One of the primary concerns that Logano has is that this will happen in the next race, which is the final one in Phoenix. That is why he feels like NASCAR needs to do something in the upcoming period to stop these things from happening again in the future, and the championship being won under controversial circumstances. When asked about what he thought could happen next Sunday, Logano said, "That's why I'm saying we probably need to do something about it before next week. Like I said, the box is open now. It's going to continue to happen until we do something about it." Yeah, I mean, Phoenix presents the opportunity for it. A little different entry point and all that, but yeah, when you're going for a championship, you're probably going to do it. You're leading going into the last corner, you're going to put it in the wall. It's cool, it happened once. We don't need to make this a thing. With that being said, it's evident that Chastain's move has grinded some gears in the NASCAR driver. But what do you think about it? Do you think that he should be rewarded for his bravery, or do you think that his bravery was actually mistaken for foolishness? In the beginning of the video, we told you we are giving away $200. This means we are giving away 4 $50 Amazon gift cards to our loyal NASCAR Off-Track viewers. All you need to do to enter is subscribe to the channel, like this video, and comment "Chastain is brave" or "Chastain is a fool." We will be selecting 4 random winners from the comments list once this video hits 300,000 views. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, you like the video, and comment in the section below. See you next time.